I'm excited for this because I haven't done one of these in a while. I'm also, I've been in the process of making my portfolio for the past like 6 months. How much of that is procrastination and how much of that is actually working on it? I don't know. Anyways, I saw your post on Reddit for a portfolio website review and I read through it. I'll just read through this really quick. Hi, I just graduated college and I want to improve my portfolio website. I think I sort of rushed it and it's not really me at all. I coded it myself with Bootstrap. Nice. I really wanted to code it myself and I just like doing it. Mainly the About Me page is kind of a mess. And I think I could do more with it. I'm also thinking of changing the fonts and colors to something I like more or just keep it black and white. I love color, but there is a lot of color in my projects already. I want it to be more trendy and have some more personality. I also don't love my logo, but I need to improve my logo making before I change that. I also feel like I rushed a lot of my work. There's a few projects that I made mostly in one night because I needed a certain number of projects for my portfolio. Okay. So I already looked through the portfolio, and before I actually get started, I just want to preface this by saying I'm not a graphic designer. I'm a UX designer. So it's a little bit different in terms of like advice that I would give. And I'm not 100% like sure of all the advice and how much of it is applicable to graphic design, because in UX design and graphic design are like two completely different things. But I do see that you do have one UI project, which is nice. Okay, just starting off at this page. Hi, I'm Claire. I am a recent graphic design graduate from Southern Connecticut State University in New Haven. I don't know what CT is. Oh, probably Connecticut. Currently looking for entry-level graphic design opportunities. Okay, I like this because you say who you are, you say where you're based out of, and you're looking for entry-level graphic design opportunities. Nice. I think that sends a very clear message that you are a graphic designer, which I think is very good. So usually when you're making a portfolio, the project that you're most proud of is going to be the first one. So let's go ahead and click on this packaging redesign. I like the little the color palette that you put in here. Okay, nutrition facts, spaghetti. In this packaging design, I took a generic big Y spaghetti box and turned it into something more exciting. I started by brainstorming themes and was inspired by playful neon space designs. In my sketches, I incorporated the wavy shape of spaghetti as a main feature of the design. I had the idea to make it look as though the pieces of spaghetti were floating in space, wrapping around the box to engage someone picking it up in a store. The outline text also follows the design of the pasta flowing in space along with the other elements. I created the design in Illustrator using a die cut measure from the original box. Galaxy Spaghetti is designed to make an ordinary spaghetti box more exciting for both kids and kids at heart. Nice. Just a few things already, like right off the bat. I don't want to start off too negative, but this portfolio is completely terrible. No, I'm just joking. A few things right off the bat. I noticed going through this that you have this like top section for all of your projects. And in UX, when we write our case studies for our projects that we're working on, we're told to sort of make it like a story. And inside of this, it sort of feels like a story, right? Which is good. But you mentioned you have brainstorming themes and was inspired by playful neon spaces in my sketches. Great. That's so good. Love it. But then I come down here and I don't see any sketches. I just see a shot of the I don't know if this is photoshopped or not, but if it's not, like, well, a lot of effort you put into that. That's not meant to be sarcastic. That was genuine. I'm assuming this is Photoshop, which really nice, well done Photoshop. Here we have a picture of like the logo. And then here we have a picture of the die cut that you mentioned. But I don't see your sketches. And I don't see any of the brainstorming that you mentioned. And I would like to receive the information when it's applicable. So I think if you set up the problem in the beginning, this is how we're taught to do our portfolio case studies, is we set up the problem. In this case, your problem is a packaging redesign for a spaghetti box. I would want to see, like, the purpose of this project was to build a packaging design for spaghetti to help entice more customers to buy the packaging, and I took my own spin on that. Like, I just wanted to incorporate like a little bit of playfulness, and I ran with that idea into the brainstorming phase of the ideation process, right? And then you talk about the brainstorming, and then it would be really cool if you then drop some pictures of your sketches, of your brainstorming. Even this is where I get iffy. I know for UX, brainstorming is so essential in the process, but for graphic design portfolios, I don't know how much a hiring manager would want to know about your process. My guess, and it's 100% a guess, is that they would be very interested in knowing your process of getting to your end product, not just the end product itself. But that's just a guess. I could be completely wrong, and they could only care about the end product. In which case, good job, because you only have the end product here. I would like to see, before you actually talk about your brainstorm, you're talking about, okay, I wanted to take a playful spin on this, and then I went into the brainstorming process, and then I see sketches, images of sketches, even if it's just like a document, like a Google Doc or something, of just like a list of words that you jumbled together to help churn some ideas inside of your head, and then say, I started by brainstorming themes and was inspired by playful neon space design, and then in my sketches, and then you would show images of sketches, I incorporated the wavy shape of spaghetti as a main feature of the design. So I would be really curious as a hiring manager to see what other ideas you explored. This is where it starts to get tricky. Like I said, I'm not a graphic designer. I feel like I'm reiterating that a lot, but I don't want to give bad advice. I'm not a graphic designer. I focus on UX, iteration, brainstorming. These are things that are super important for us. So taking us through your process would be better. I do like that you have this right here, the color palette. I think this could be spread out throughout the project and not just have had it at the beginning. I have seen pieces on Behance where they just show, they do something very similar to this, where they give an explanation, a little blurb, and then they continue on with the rest of the project. But I feel like you're trying to sort of hit a middle ground with, like, you're not just giving a blurb, you're trying to tell a story, but then also only giving us the final product, which, is this good advice, bad advice? I don't know. You have other people you can talk to. This is just another person's 2 cents. I think it would be better to either go all in on the storytelling aspect and really show the process, which is what I would do, or pull back on the storytelling and focus more on your implementation of this project. Like, it's a packaging redesign. I see one die cut, a picture of a logo, and then the actual implementation of this. How would you incorporate this logo into other implementations that people don't really think about? We have this. You could have different sizes of packaging, like use cases. I think if you had an image of this package intermixed with a whole bunch of other packages, and you can make it really stand out, that would be perfect. Because as a hiring manager, if I'm hiring somebody to work on a package, I want them to think about how would this package look inside of a store. Because it's all well and nice to have this package on your countertop, which, by the way, again, a lot of effort that you put into it, and if it is Photoshop, it's like a really well done Photoshop because it looks really real. Like, it looks like a real box. But if I saw these thought processes in you, where you put it with other products, if you put it inside of a store, if you had different size boxes, you know, that would be very impressive for me if you're going down the path of just showing the end product. If you're doing the storytelling, I think, like I said, putting in more of your brainstorming and your different iterations would be very helpful. And this one, like I said, I would consider this one your best project because you put it first. Let's go ahead and look at the UI one. This one is like my field because haha, UX, I'm a UX guy and this is a UI project, so sort of similar. I created this app concept after finding an old app on my phone designed to find nearby fast food restaurants. The app was very simple, with just an alphabetical list of restaurants, a search function, and a list of locations when choosing a restaurant. I brainstormed new possibilities and decided to include a new sorting function to sort by location, restaurant type, favorites, and other important categories that users would appreciate. I also implemented a favorites and offer page and an option to add personal notes to each restaurant location for users to remember what they liked about it. I decided on a bright color scheme to make the app more interesting to look at and to reflect the colorful design of many fast food chains. My redesign kept the simplicity of the original app while making it more usable and eye-catching. So this is okay, before we actually continue, I wanted to address this really quick. In the last one, you just had Galaxy Spaghetti. If we go ahead and take a look at that one, that's a little bit bad. If it takes that long for your website to load, some hiring managers would just like exit out. It's like, it's not loading, I'm gonna exit out. You know, they're looking at so many different portfolios at one time. Load times for website, and this is more diving deeper into the development side of websites. I think it is important, and something to take into consideration is how long it takes for your website to load. Because even just right now, like clicking on it, it feels too long. Like it feels like really long for that to load. Anyways. Okay, it says Galaxy Spaghetti and then packaging redesign, and then right here you have fast food app interface, where this is the name, and then this is just what it is, and then you listed the program down here, which is not consistent. And if we go ahead and take a look at another one, this one, it has a name, and then it has what the project is. This one, it has a name and it has what the project is on the header, and that has a repetition of branding again at the bottom. I would just want these to all be consistent. I think what you have in this one is good. The name on top and then what is this project on the bottom. Really solid way to do it. But this is kind of confusing where you have Chef's Bagel and then branding concept, and then you have branding again. I'll just change this to Chef's Bagel, and then at the bottom just have branding concept. Simple. You know, it keeps the header simple. This is nice. Again, Galaxy. This is confusing. Food app interface. A little confusing. And then you have not even what the project is. It's like what you use to make the project. And also what the project is. You have Adobe XD, and then you have UI design. That's one little note I would add. Boop. And that's a simple, easy one to fix. So if anything, just do that, and then, you know, I gave some good feedback. Okay, so this project, the fastest, easiest way to find your favorite food. Cool. I can't click on any of these and actually zoom in. I see that you have your personas. Nice. It's hard to read just because it's so small. Abby is a student in Connecticut who likes to stop for food after driving to class. There are many fast food restaurants nearby, but sometimes she can't decide where she wants to eat. When Googling fast food, the results are often inconsistent. Keeping track of coupons across different emails and fast food apps get confusing, and she often just doesn't use them. No. Okay, nice, good. This bottom portion is really good. Many apps and websites can be confusing to use. He likes simplicity. It's hard to remember what restaurants he liked. When he revisits a place, he wants a way to save his favorites and writes comments. So this sort of feels like it would better fit in the needs, wants and needs, and not really a frustration. I don't know if this is going too much into personas. I don't know how much they focused on like personas when you're going through your program. In my opinion, these two people feel very similar, almost to the points of why do you need them to be two separate personas? Because I feel like the wants and the needs of Mike are the same as the wants and the needs of Abby. Maybe this is going too much into the weeds of it. Even their technology, what would you call it? Acumen? Not acumen. I can't think of another word. Is acumen even the right word? Acumen isn't a good word, but their technology acumen is very similar, where they both are pretty good with mobile apps. Mike is not as strong in social media, but he's not a complete idiot, you know? And they're both really good at the internet. If I was seeing this, I was like, what's the purpose of having them? Too far into the weeds. I think that's too far into the weeds. I think it's cool that you added your personas in here. Okay, the fastest, easiest way to find your favorite food. I really like this top header part, right? Where you just have your UI shots and comped into the iPhone slots, which is good. And then you have different sections. That's nice. This is the original app. Here, I would like to see what you did down here with adding like little notes. I really like this. This is really well done. This has like a lot of personality. Really nice. I would like to see that over here too, where instead of like pulling out what you changed, I would like to see what you think could it be improved over here. And why did you pick these screens to show for the app? Like, did you design how it would look in the App Store? Let me check. I actually don't know. I haven't checked this. You did not, but you have that one here. So maybe that's a little bit confusing, because if you have like how would this look inside of the App Store, but then you don't have anything similar to this screen in your other screenshots, it feels a little bit disconnected from the rest of the project. I feel like this suffers from the same issue as last time, where it feels like you have all your storytelling aspects in the beginning, and then you don't really have the things to back it up in terms of your images. I don't want to beat that horse too much, but if you do have your images, I would definitely put those inside of here. This definitely feels more like a case study than the spaghetti one, where you went through the original app and did sort of like an evaluation of it, then you made personas, and you even have this really, really fantastic image of how you got the logo, which I think is great. This is perfect. It's really well done, really nice. And then you have this, which is also has a lot of personality. You're giving examples, you're pointing out what you actually did in the app: improved navigation, detailed restaurants, easy to find buttons. Super, super nice. Yeah, this whole section, really good. I really enjoy it. I would like to see this information sort of intermixed with it, and I would like a little bit more consistency in the images. But overall, I think this one, really nice. This is a redesign concept for a local bagel shop, Chef's Bagel. Created a new visual system for the restaurant. I noticed that they originally did not have a website or custom food packaging, so those were important things that I wanted to include. I chose a color scheme to reflect the warm and welcoming atmosphere of the shop. When designing the logo, I made sure to incorporate their home. Is that a typo? They're homemade? I'm not crazy, right? Homemade bagels? I think that's a typo. Typo's bad. Homemade bagel look that is never perfectly round. Nice. Great. And created the lettering to reflect that same look. Perfect. Perfect explanation. This one, I feel focuses, this is what I was talking about, where you're not really telling a story, you're more setting up the problems and then immediately giving your solutions to the problems. You didn't talk about brainstorming, you didn't talk about your ideation process, but now looking down here, I see that you do have your sketches, which I think is good. I want this, but it's I think it's just a little, I think it's funny that you really focused on your solution to the problem. But then in this one, you gave the brainstorming and stuff that I wanted to see in the other ones, where you did mention that. And this one, I feel like you didn't mention it here, but you'd still have it. Which, if anything, I would prefer this, because I can see your thought process, right? This is really good. Chef's Bagel. I am assuming that's a Photoshop. Really nice. Well done, Photoshop. Then you have the different packaging. This is really good. This is what I would want to see in terms of like the amount of products for a packaging. This is a concept for the website. Gotcha. This is so good. Really great. I think there's a lot of good stuff here. Yeah, this one is really solid. I might put this one in your top spot. If I were you, I would put this one in your top spot. It shows that it was I'm assuming a real client with real problems, and then you actually came up with solutions for those problems. Really strong. I like this one a lot. The March Madness. As a bracket, project using musicians made for the New York Haven. Visuals, logos were used in social media. And in the classroom where participants voted on their favorite composers from the US, and classrooms interactive PDFs allowed teachers to view videos of composers' music when clicking on their names. Social media followers voted using polls, and graphics were updated every week to present the results. The March Madness campaign led to a 346% increase in Instagram content interactions. This is so good. If you, chef's kiss right there. If you could have things like this in your projects where you can actually give a solid concrete number to how what you did led to an increase in a metric, really strong. Where you said on social media followers, whatever, graphics were updated weekly. Nice, very good. You mentioned it and you have it in there. Do you have the PDFs here? I would be interested to see the PDFs. I don't know if this is the PDF or not. I think labels on your images would be very good. I feel like I'm really missing a lot of the context here. And like I said earlier, if you could intersperse this information into the project when it's applicable, that would be really helpful. And then on top of that, adding captions, not labels. I said captions. Labels might also be good into this, so we can have context into what each element, what each deliverable is, would be crisp. This is really good though. I really like this at the bottom. The 346% increase, really nice. I don't want to go through everything, but I think if we went through everything, I think we would have like similar things to say. So I don't think going through more would be super helpful. I think you should come up with a name for this one though. Come up with a name for this one. I think that would be good. Really like the palettes. Nice. So we got portfolio, about. You did mention something about the about page being really messy. This about me section reads more like a resume to me than anything else. I think I do see a lot of inconsistencies in terms of your size of text, where this is one size and then this is a different size and then this is a different size and then this is a different size, where it feels very like mixed. And then you have this underline over here, which makes sense, like to separate the about me, which is like a sort of a blurb. Oh, I didn't even read this. Hi, I'm Claire, and I recently graduated from Southern Connecticut in 2021. I majored in interdisciplinary studies with concentrations in graphic design, computer science, and media studies, and I have been able to combine what I've learned from these disciplines into my design work. I'm also interested in web design and learning about UX, UI, but I enjoy all aspects of design. I have been interested in design all my life. Started out in middle school designing websites and graphics for fun, but I realized in college that this was what I really wanted to do. Cool. Reading this and then going down here, this starts to make more sense where you're like, okay, this person wasn't just a graphic design person, which it feels like you really focus that over here where you're looking for graphic design opportunities, which is fine, but over here it sort of feels like maybe that's not the case. So it feels a little bit disconnected, but you know, I think this is good. I mean, I would say for me, just focus on making this more consistent, where I'm not 100% sure if these are all even different. Hold on. What font? Let's see. So this is 16 pixels. What is this? That is 32 pixels. 16. Hold on. $32 pixels. 40 pixels. 20 pixels. 32. Is this 32 as well? That's 32. So you have 1, 2, 3. What's the weight of this? 500. They should all be 500, right? Yeah, they're all 500. You have 3 different sizes just in this About Me page. It feels really, mixed matchy. I would say put them all one of these sizes, because I think they all sort of have the same importance. So I say 32 or 40. I think they're both, fine sizes, but definitely minimize the amount of text sizes that you have, because it does feel really messy. I do think you're right about that. You can contact me, reach, or use the contact form. Nice, very good. So this is more of a copy thing. I would say give like a clearer action of what you want them to reach out to you about. And it could be a clearer action that is more vague, if that makes sense. So you could say, if you interested in talking to me about a job opportunity, you can reach out to me here, and then they'll know, okay, this person just wants to talk about job opportunities, which is not a bad thing. I mean, they're on a portfolio, so of course they know that you want a job, right? Or it could be something which I see a lot, which I think I see this more often than not, where I see people say, if you're interested in talking to me about a job or about work, or if you just want to talk about design, you can reach out to me here, because then it feels like more, okay, this person isn't just interested in the job, they're also interested in just getting to know people inside of the design industry, which is also very attractive, as somebody that's like, okay, does this person actually care about design? Yes, cool, maybe this person is for us. But right now it says you can reach me at my email or LinkedIn, but you're not really saying what to reach out to you about. Yeah, I'll just put in a little bit more information into this like call to action, like into this copy, to make it more clear why a person would reach out to you. Yeah, that's it. Let's go ahead. Usually I do like a little redesign. I think, hold on, one thing. Do you see this? I don't know if you see what I'm talking about. I see. Oh my gosh. This is the same issue that I saw on somebody else's website. So I don't know if you see what I'm talking about, but if you look, the header, the whole website sort of shifts a little bit left and right, and it's because of the scroll bar. That's why. I don't know how easy of a thing that is to fix, but if it is easy, I would definitely try to fix that. So if there is a scroll bar or no scroll bar, it's more consistent. Okay, I usually do like a little redesign of the website. I think for you, I think the best thing to do would be to try to do a redesign of your about page to make it more clear. This is going to be your logo, right, that you have set. I don't have Avenir, so we're just going to go with Roboto. Roboto's always the way to go. Okay. I'm just laughing because this is exactly. Oh, this is exactly what UX design is. You just make like 100 iterations, not 100. You just make like 10 iterations on like where one button should be, and you change the wording around a little bit, and you think about it some more. Okay, but here's what I came up with. I didn't change. I didn't change most of the text. Here's what I did do. I did add this little indicator that you are on the about page. I know it seems a little bit like redundant because it says literally about me right there, and then you have that also, but I think just understanding where you are in the navigation is important enough for that to be something to be redundant. I don't know if that made sense what I said. And then I say that you have a what is it called? A larger line height on this, which is probably a better idea. That looks a lot more readable. But disregarding the line height, like you could change the line height obviously. I added just like more even spacing, and I added these little bullet points over here just to give each individual one like a little tick. It's like almost a image. It's just a little dot, but I feel like it adds something like, wow, look at all these little dots. And to the user, which in this case would be your hiring manager, it's like, wow, there's so many little dots. And it just has this really like instinctual thing in your head where it's like, wow, so many dots. This person knows so much. And then as you saw, like I was messing a lot with the placement of this button and like where to put it and what the wording would be. And I eventually decided down here, I was thinking maybe it could be at the top like over here, but then it would have to be consistent because it would be in the nav bar and it would have to be throughout the whole site. And is that something that we really want a person to be looking at 24/7? Not really. And then I was thinking about putting it on the left side, but then I thought it already looks really heavy on the left side, especially with this missing bullet point right there. So I thought putting it on the right side, right aligning it with the this right edge over here, right here. Boop. I think this made the most sense, and also nice little addition to it. It kind of draws your eye down to this get in touch, which is obviously like something that you would want them to do if you're trying to get a job with somebody. And you could probably even like get that stronger by doing a little underline on it. You know, made these consistent so it makes it look more like a resume. And this like download resume, I just wanted it to be like really, really, really clear what you're doing when you're clicking this is like you're downloading a resume. Download resume. You don't have to make all these changes, but you said that this was a page that you were having the most issue with, so hopefully this helped. Hopefully you got something out of it. Hopefully I wasn't just talking, spewing nonsense for I don't know how long I was working on this video. But this is how I would recommend to change it. Move down the resume. Remove the line from the skills because I feel like this whole section sort of reads as a resume. So to have this down here makes sense. To have it up here I think would also make sense, but I'm just having a little bit of trouble with the spacing because you usually want your buttons to be around like 42 pixels in height. And it just looks a little bit like too close to this text, which I guess you could give some more space with this text over here by adding like an extra 8 pixels, but then you would have to turn everything down like an extra 8 pixels, which I guess we could do really quick just to see what that looks like. And then including this over here. I don't know. I'm not convinced with that section right there, with it up there. But your portfolio, do however you want. This is my suggestion. Hoped that it helped. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna stop recording now. An hour and 13 minutes. What the